Right, so that's how you get all the numbers for M2. M5, M6. Let's look at M5 and M6. M5 is here. M6 is that one. Look, they are exactly the same as S1. No difference. If you look at the slab arrangement. So M5 is taking the loading from this part. M6 is taking the loading from here and there. So M5, M6, and S1 in terms of loading, they are the same. You don't need to repeat. So that's what I have written down here. M4 is a bit different. What's M4 is here. This is my M4. So where does the loading come from? It comes from S3. S3 is supported by M4, and then on the other side by another main beam. On this side, M4 is supporting S2. So it's something like this. Like that. So loading from, what's that? That's S3. That's S2. So half of the loading from this secondary beam S3 goes to M4. Half of the loading on this secondary beam goes to M4. And they all goes to exactly the same point. Right? They all goes to exactly the same point. Concentrated load. If both are concentrated load and they both act at the same point, so you can add them together this time. Okay? So loading from S3, S2, loading from S2, loading from S3, okay, so first start with S2. This is S2. We have done it before on page 1. We know the loading on S2. So we calculate the total dead load on S2 and then divide by 2. Because it's equally shared between these 2 points. Same thing for S3. The total dead load on S3 equally shared between these 2 points. So what's the loading on S2? So you go back to page 1. Page 1. S2 dead load, S2 live load. Something dB, something dB. multiplied by the total length divided by 2, that's 4.05. 呢度幾長？4.05，所以4.05乘2，再除翻2，咁咪即係4.05啦。S2 幾長？4.05，即係4.05乘2啦，除翻2，咁即係4.05。So this is actually 4.05 times 2 divided by 2. So that's the dead and live concentrated load on S2, mid-span. For S3, same thing. You don't need to repeat the calculation. You just copy and paste because S2 and S3 are exactly the same. S2, S3, S4 are the same in terms of load. So you just copy and paste. Again, it's a concentrated load at exactly the same point, mid-span. And that's why, this time, you can add them together. Add the dead load together. Add the live load together. This is S2 plus S4. Okay. M4 唔使做，同 M7 係一樣。M4, this is M4, this is M7， 即係基本上係倒影嚟嘅啫。So M4, M7 in terms of loading exactly the same. So you don't need to repeat for M7. M3 was M3. Oh, M3 is here. M3 more or less is like M1. Right? If you compare M1 is here, M3 is here. Left side is a distributed load. Left side is a distributed load. Right side is a concentrated load. M3 right side is also a concentrated. Probably the only difference is they are in the regions with different live load. That's it. Otherwise, everything are the same. So if you look at the calculation, exactly the same procedure like M1, very similar to M1, separate from slab, from secondary beam S4. Separate them, don't add them together, they're different. This is distributed, this is concentrated. So this is a UDL, this is a concentrated. So I don't need to repeat how to calculate the distributed load on M3 from the one-way slab. Same thing, the width. Be careful with the live load. This is 4, fast for short area. From secondary beam S4, sort of exactly the same thing. So I just put a remark here, same as M1. So this number actually I just copy and paste from M1. Looks like him say M1. So M1 is here. Looks like him say from page 2. live load is 91.1 on M1. So this number here is from page 2. Yes. This number here is also from page 2 calculation. But 91.1 is coming from the region with 5 kPa. But this one is from the region of 4 kPa. So you can do it 跟比例轉返嗰個數. So 91.1 times 4 over 5. Prorata 轉返呢個數91.1係有5個 kilonewton 5 kPa 嘅。But this time we're in 4 kPa, so just multiply by 4 divided by 5, that ratio, that's the number. So that is the live load concentrated on M3, mid-span. And very often in previous years, many students, when they come to the quiz or examination, very often one of the most common mistake is they always try to add these concentrated load with the UDL. You cannot add them together. I've said many times. Never try to add these things with that thing. Right, so finally, all main beams are done. So the remaining element is C1. Column C1. Column can only support concentrated load because all loading concentrated at C1. There is no UDL for C1. Right? So, same question. Where does the load come from? C1 is supporting M5, M4, M2, M8. All loading from these 4 beams goes to C1. So what do? Same trick. For M5, you calculate the total dead load divided by 2. Why divided by 2? Because I'm assuming that the total dead load is equally shared between these 2 columns. Same thing for M4, M2, M8. Right? And all concentrated at exactly the same point, so you can add them together. Okay, so we go through it one by one. So again, we separate dead load and live load. We never add them together. Next page is for live load. The procedures is exactly the same, just the number. From M4, from M5, from M2, from M8. All these are concentrated. From M4, so you go back and look at what is M4. Where's my M4 calculation? Where's M4? M4 here. M4 total dead load 123.12 M4 live load 131.22 concentrated. 123.12 is the dead load, so divided by 2 because it's equally shaded between these two columns. M4 was M4 and 14 equally shaded between these two columns. Okay, so all loading on M4 equally shared between these two points. So that's how you got 123.12 divided by 2. This is from page 3. M5, again, where's M5? M5 is the same as S1. Okay, so where's S1? S1, dead low, 15.2. 15.2. S1. Kilonewton per meter. This is from page 1. S1. M5, by the way, is the same as S1. Multiply by the length. Remember, this is a distributed load, kilonewton per meter. Multiplied by the length divided by 2. That's it. That's concentrated. Right, so M5 done. M2, where is M2? M2 is this one. This one is a bit more involved because you got concentrated load on one side, you got distributed load on the other side. M2. So where's my calculation for M2? M2, page 2. So this is from page 2. Refer to page 2. Refer to page 2. 7.6. So where's 7.6? M2, 7.6 is here. This is a distributed load. Distributed dead load. This is a UDL, kilonewton per meter. Multiplied by the length divided by 2, that's 4.05. M2. M2 幾長？4.05，即係4.05乘2，再除翻2，即係都係4.05。Okay. Plus 68.4. That one. That's the concentrated load on M2. Right? So equally shared. So this is kilonewton per meter times meter. That will give you, the first term is kilonewton. Second term kilonewton, acting on C1, the same point. So you can add them together. M8 同 M2 一樣。M8 in terms of loading, exactly the same as M2, so I don't need to repeat. I just copy and paste this number. Now all these four numbers can be added because they are the same concentrated load acting at the same location, C1. So that's why you can add all these together. 260 kilonewton, that's the dead load that this column is supporting for this floor. 即係大概26噸左右。 十鬆啲架私家車嘅重量。That's what C1, this column, is supporting in terms of bed load for this floor. And then what about live load? Exactly the same. So you should be able to follow, add them together. Exactly the same principle. Just try to find the numbers from the previous pages. Okay, so this is what you can do for column C1, estimate the vertical load, dead end life. Right, so that's it for this example. There is another one on Canvas, which I said at the beginning. 仲有另一條例子嘅，我哋冇咁多時間講㗎啦，講出起碼個幾鐘頭。And you need to go through the video on YouTube. The link is there on Canvas. So now it's time for the in-class exercise. MCQ， 我哋刪咗佢。